Fresh TV, the company that owns Total Drama, 16, and My Babysitter's a Vampire. But these are just 3 out of their 10 big projects. In this video, I'm gonna analyze all of these projects and rank them based on 4 criteria: theme, storyline, characters, and replay value. Number 1. Stoked. This one is a combination between 16 and Total Drama Island. A bunch of teenagers who don't know each other come together during the summer in a place called Sunset Island. Total Drama influence. But why do they do that? Because they all began working at the same place, the Surfers Paradise Ridgemount Resort. 16 influence. Yet, when they're not doing their jobs at the resort, these teenagers like to hang out and surf. The theme is not the most original, nor the most entertaining one, so I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. But here's when things start to get complicated. Earlier I mentioned that they like to surf, but they don't just do it for fun. At the end of their summer, almost all the main characters would participate in the Grojband, the biggest surf contest in the Pacific Northwest. But in order to win this contest, they have to train as much as possible. To train as much as possible, they have to ditch their tasks at the resort. And that's how they get in trouble with the manager. For me, the storyline is pretty great, so I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Now, let's take a deeper look into the characters. We have Reef, the one who really avoids work and spends a lot of time trying to impress girls. Finn, the one who always looks for a great time. Broseph, the chill dude. Emma, the pretty naive one. Johnny, the senior one who already worked at the resort before. And Lo, the daughter of the resort's owner. But she was grounded to work because she threw a monstrous party in the past. The characters are great, but not the most original ones. 3 out of 5. Replay value? Well, it's the ultimate summer show, so I think you can watch it like every year. It probably deserves a 4 out of 5. Number 2. The Ridonculous Race. Teams of 2 travel around the world doing challenges and trying to win the $1 million prize. There's no other cartoon with this theme, yet the challenges tend to resemble the ones from Total Drama World Tour. So for the theme, Ridonculous Race deserves a 4 out of 5. But what about the storyline? Well, the competition? Great. The challenges? Captivating. But the show itself has a flaw. We don't have a threat, an obstacle, until later in the season, when the ice dancers start to cheat at the challenges. So for the storyline, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. But let's talk about the characters. Besides the LARPers, I enjoyed every single team. Even though some of them were one-dimensional and predictable, they were entertaining and eliminated at the right moment. So 5 out of 5. Replay value? 5 out of 5 again. Great show to binge watch. Number 3. 16. This show is about a friend group made up of 6 teenagers who spend most of their time in the mall where they hang out and work. Now this theme might not sound like a big deal, but back in the early 2000s, Tom McGillis and Jennifer Persh, the creators, saw a gap in the market. The teen audience was shifting towards adult shows because their content was more intellectual compared to normal cartoons. So they made one of the first animated shows that focused exclusively on teenagers. For the theme, 16 gets 5 out of 5. But the storyline? In the show, all of them have to navigate teen drama while avoiding being fired from their jobs or ending up in the mall jail. Compared to the shows from our days, it doesn't seem like much. But back then, it was the only show that featured this kind of storyline. So, 5 out of 5. Now, what about the characters? Well, there is Nikki, the sarcastic one, Jen, the responsible athlete, Wyatt, the soft-spoken musician, Jonesy, the arrogant serial flirter, Jude, the chill skater who often surprises with wisdom and honesty, and Caitlin, the rich girl who has to work in the mall because daddy took away her credit card. So for the characters, I'll give them a 4 out of 5. But does this show have replay value? Yes. Especially the episodes that were censored or even scrapped in the US.
No, wait, Jonesy. I still have to brush my teeth.
Whoa.
Whoa, what?
Towel? Other one?
Or the one in which they talk politics.
I'm gonna make America great again.
Oh, what's he wearing?
5 out of 5. Number 4. Bunks. 2 problematic brothers are sent to a military camp, but at the last minute, they switch places with 2 other dudes and end up at Camp Bushwhack, where they become counselors. Yet after some time, they find a haunted storybook in the woods. So do they put it back and move on with their lives? Hell nah. They take it with them and read some of the stories at the campfire. Long story short, all the stories that they read turn real, and boom! Zombie Apocalypse Summer Camp. I swear, Fresh TV really likes summer camps. In this movie, we also see a dude who looks like Chef Hatchet, a kid who behaves like Owen, and Christian Potenza himself, appearing as the owner of the camp.
And we're stoked for another summer of freezing lakes, burning bug bites, and a lunch menu that can be best described as high risk, high reward.
I know that many people didn't like this movie, but for me, a cursed summer camp island full of zombies sounds great, but not great enough to hit perfection. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Now the storyline is pretty straightforward. The apocalypse starts, so they try to survive and find a cure. The cure works on almost everybody except the first zombie. That's why they use a collar to bring back his consciousness. Every zombie movie ever. So, 1 out of 5. Not really the best storyline, but the characters? Similar to Total Drama, the main group is made up of very different individuals who happen to work together really well. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Replay value? When I first watched it as a kid, amazing. When I rewatched it as an adult, great, nostalgic. Do I plan to rewatch it in the next 3 years? No. So here it gets a 3 out of 5. Number 5. My Babysitter's a Vampire. Here's a crazy fun fact. During an interview with Kai Cenat, Tom McGillis admitted the show had one mission. What would a boy who is fed up with movies like Twilight really want to see out of a vampire show? And oh boy, he didn't fail his task. But let's be honest, its theme blends with pretty much any other vampire series. So overall, the theme gets a 2 out of 5. The storyline? Besides the basic monsters, they also have to deal with Jesse, the oldest vampire who tries to bring back his vampire army and take over the city. But in season 2, the situation flips. The vampires start having a council. They live in harmony with humans and everything goes well, up until another big villain, a dark wizard, comes and threatens to kill all the vampires. So for the storyline, the show gets a 5 out of 5. But the characters? We have Ethan, a nerdy guy who has visions. Benny is his best friend who is a wizard. Rory, their dumb friend. Sarah, Ethan's crush and babysitter. And Erica, Sarah's friend. All of these 3 are vampires. Great chemistry and a lot of drama between them. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. Replay value? Well, I recommend watching the movie since the series gets pretty boring if you're 16. So it gets a 3 out of 5. Number 6. Total DramaRama. Probably the worst creative decision ever taken. For those who don't know, around 2014, Cartoon Network made it very clear. No more shows for the teens. They want to focus on something that can also be watched by a younger audience. So Fresh TV pretty much copied what Teen Titans did. 1 out of 5. The storyline? Pretty much non-existent. All episodes stand on their own. There's not really any connection between them. 2 out of 5. But what about the characters? All of them have great personalities which fit with the kindergarten theme. So 4 out of 5. Replay value? Since none of the episodes are connected, you can watch every episode you want in whichever order you want and still enjoy the show. So 4 out of 5. Number 7. Grojband. A 2013 cartoon that follows the story of a garage band. And yep, their logo is the same as the one from Duncan's shirt. The theme is pretty basic. Gives me Roderick vibes. 3 out of 5. Now let's talk about the storyline. You see, this band has a problem. They can't write their own lyrics. But the main character has an older sister who hates him with a passion and wants to see him fail. She is actually the reason behind the band's success. How? Well, she has a journal in which she talks about her daily drama and emotional states, and the band steals her journal to write lyrics. This is pretty funny, so I gotta give it a 5 out of 5. Now let's talk about the characters. There's Corey, the lead singer and guitarist of the band, and Trina, the evil older sister. This is Lainey, the secondary singer, and these are Kin and Khan, twin brothers. By the way, their names are a reference to King Kong. Pretty basic. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Overall, the episodes are great, and although short, the musical moments are very creative, so the replay value is 4 out of 5. Number 8. Backstage. This is a show about the students of an elite art school. But after series like Violetta, Callie's Mashup, and Soy Luna, you'd think a theme like this would be really boring, right? Wrong. You see, for this show, the creators didn't hire actors, they actually hired real-life artists. most of the scenes are spectacular and stick really good to the theme, so it gets a 4 out of 5. Now in theory, the storyline is great. It's driven by the challenges these young artists have to face, like injuries, anxiety, and academics. But in practice, it's so cliche. 2 out of 5. But what about the characters? Too many of them. Especially for the new viewers, it's pretty hard to keep track of them all. So, 2 out of 5 again. Replay value? Well, there are a lot of people online who mention how they keep binge watching it, especially the artistic moments. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Number 9. Lucas the Spider. Now this is very obviously a kids show. It follows the story of Lucas the Spider exploring the world with his friends. I can see why kids love it though. While spiders are seen as creepy most of the time, in the show, Lucas is portrayed as cute and innocent. But I think I've seen hundreds of shows like these, so the theme is a 1 out of 10 for me. Now the story is a bit different. Being a kids show, it's not really a full-on storyline. It's just about learning to do things like singing, discovering new objects, and friends. 2 out of 5. But what about the characters? Well, we have Lucas the Spider, Avocado the Dog, Arlo the Owl, Finley the Fly, and Maisie the Bee. I like the names, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Now replay value sucks. Once you grow up, you won't really find yourself saying, "Oh my god, I can't wait to watch Lucas the Spider and learn to sing the alphabet." 1 out of 5. This show is for kids, not for old people like me. Number 10. Total Drama. Now this is my favorite show of all time, and it puts money in my bank every month. But it's also Fresh TV's most successful show. It's a 5 out of 5 for all categories. So this is the final ranking. But the question is not whether Total Drama is Fresh TV's best show. Rather, what is Total Drama's best season? Well, this video is just for you.